I don't know why I'm so nervous, but hi, my name is Aalaney Bloom, but most people call me Laney. This is my first YouTube video, basically an introduction video and a Booktube newbie video, all in one. And the thing I'm gonna start with is just answering questions. Like usually when you come onto the Booktube side of YouTube, there's like a set of questions you can answer, and I'm just gonna pretend like the imaginary audience is asking me these questions.
I mean, let me ask the audience.
Okay, the first question is why did you start this channel? The reason why I started this channel is because I've been watching YouTube since I was a kid, and it's always been something I wanted to do, but I always felt as though my life was really boring and mundane, and I had nothing to offer. And as years has gone by, I realized that everybody has something to offer. There's so many people in the world that you can reach out to. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are, what kind of life you live. And there's gonna always be people out there that can resonate with you and connect with you because of your life experiences. And also as the title states, I'm really introverted, and I'm also asexual, so like, yeah. And I've just always wanted a community with people, and I really hope I can connect with people with similar interests as me, or people that are similar to me, and just find a community here on YouTube and on the internet in general, because I have social media, but I'm not very active on social media. So yeah. And also another thing is that for a long time I didn't know if I would actually start a channel. I was kind of psyched myself out, and I was very pessimistic about it, and it just got to the point where I was like, I'm not nihilistic anymore, but I was so nihilistic to the point where I would just be like, there's no point even trying, because you know most people don't succeed, blah, blah. I would tell myself all these negative things, and I would always tell myself there's no point. In the end, there's no point. There's no point to it. I'm just like, one day I was kind of just being really pessimistic and negative, and I was just like, if there's no point, why don't you just try? Like, you're just being a coward. Like, if there's no point, what's the point of trying? What's the point of embarrassing yourself? There's no point in this. So that's basically like the gist of why I started this channel, because I really want to break out of my shell. I really want to find a community, and I want to go for the things that I really want. I'm tired of just sitting around and waiting. I want to actually go for the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I've always wanted to pursue. So yeah, that's basically it. That's basically why I started this channel. The next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to YouTube? I think I really don't know. That's a really hard question. That's a really, really hard question. I think that myself, I just feel like everybody has something to bring. Everybody has, I don't know, we all have our set of unique experiences that we've all lived through, and I feel like, throughout this channel's journey, I feel like there'll be people that will be able to like connect with me and just, you know, resonate with some of the things that I've gone through, or some of the things that I have to put out into the world, if you know what I mean. Like, I guess, because there's a lot of asexual people, but I feel like there can be people that can find community on this channel, you know. Also, people that are extremely introverted, or like people who have just like, I don't know, have just really bad social anxiety. I just feel like there are so many people that can come to my channel and just find a community and find a space that either inspires them or just makes them feel like they belong somewhere, basically. I know I didn't really word that right, but hopefully you guys can get what I'm trying to say, you know? Number 3, what are you most excited about for your channel? I feel like I've said this 1,000 times, but I really, really want a community of people. Like, I really, really do. I just want, like, I don't know, I just want, even if my channel isn't a big channel, even if I have a small community, that'll make me happy. Just people I can talk to with about books and just different things that I've been thinking about, and different ideas and different commentary and just things, you know, I want to talk about. Basically, I just want to and yeah. And also I want to vlog. That's the main reason. I've always wanted to vlog about my life. Like I said earlier, like I used to think that my life was just very bland and bleak and there was nothing for me to offer, but now I realize that it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You can just put out anything and it's still art. And yeah, I just want to put out things into the world. I want to do travel vlogs. I want to do lifestyle vlogs. I want to have like I want to have a little subsection on my channel where I do like a first. Like I just document the things that I do, because there's a lot of things, because I'm 22, there's a lot of things that I haven't really experienced or done, so I want to vlog that. I feel like it'll help other people be open to doing things that they've never really considered or been too afraid to do. So yeah, that's what I'm most excited about for my channel. Why do you love reading? I love to read because for a moment in time when you're reading, you really are in a different place. You're in a different atmosphere. You literally, like time, for a moment in time, you literally are in a different atmosphere. And I don't know how to explain it, especially to people that don't read. I always tell people, if you want time to go by really, really fast, you're trying to, you know, take your mind off or something, or you need to like waste time, not waste time, because, you know, it's not wasting time, but if you really want the time to go by fast, there's been times where I've been reading for like 3 hours, and it feels like I've only been reading for an hour, because it literally just feels like you've been transported into another world. And I guess I just love the escapism of it all. Like I'm one of those, as a kid, I was one of those kids that would daydream a lot, like an unhealthy amount of, like I would just daydream. And if I was reading a book, I was most likely daydreaming about that book. Like I've always been the type of person, just my mind was always just somewhere else. Like I don't know if you can exactly say that as me dissociating, because I know dissociating is like a real thing, but that's kind of what it felt like. Like I feel like I would lose bits and pieces of time, because I would literally just be daydreaming. But that's how I literally feel when I read books. I just feel like I'm just immersed into this whole different world. And also it really goes into, like, when I was a kid, I was really obsessed with like movies like that. Like, for example, The Little Mimsy, The Golden Compass, Inkheart, Narnia, Peter Pan, the 2003 Peter Pan. I love The Little Mermaids in that movie. Like it just feels like you're in, like, for like, while you're watching that movie, you're literally like time suspended. Nothing else matters. You just focus on that movie, and it just feels so atmospheric. And I wasn't allowed to watch Twilight as a kid. But I watched Twilight like maybe when I was like 18 or 19 for the first time. And even though the movies are very corny and cheesy, that's the one thing I love about those movies, because it just feels like it's just so atmospheric, and just, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it just feels so, I don't know. It just feels like you're just being transported to somebody else, even if it's from the color grading or the direct, like the camera style, or just the world building inside that movie. I just feel like you've been transported. You're traveling. And also the Harry Potter movies make me feel like that too. But yeah, that's basically why I love reading. The next question is number 5. What book series got you into reading? I would say I don't exactly remember like the first book I read, but I remember one series that I was really obsessed with when I was a kid was this like fairy book series. I think it was called the Rainbow series or something like that. I'll put the books like up here to like show you guys an example, but it was like this like collection of all these type of fairy books. And my sister's grandma was a librarian, and she would give us these books like every year or so, or every few years, where she would just give us like a trunk of books. And I remember like she just had like in the trunk, right, there was all these type of like fairy books. And anytime I would be grounded as a kid or I had to be in the room for like long periods of time, I would literally just read those books and I was obsessed with them. Like I would literally just daydream about being a fairy, and it was just like one of my like some. It just it's those books like literally just hold some place in my heart because they really used to make me want to just live in this like fairyland. Like honestly, those were my favorite books as a kid. I vividly remember reading like Junie B. Jones. When I was a little kid, my mom had all the Dr. Seuss books, so I remember reading that when I was like really little, like 4 years old. Like we had all those books, but I vividly remember being in the room just on the floor, like reading those fairy books and being obsessed with them. The next question is 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? I think I would ask them what's their favorite trope and what's their least favorite trope, and who their favorite authors are and why those authors are their favorites. Okay, 7. What challenge will be the hardest with Booktube? For me, I think it will be balancing work and posting and like editing and vlogging. That's basically it. I feel like it's just scheduling everything and planning and finding good flexibility between work, school, and YouTube. Because I want to be dedicated to YouTube, but also want to make sure I balance school and work and make sure everything is equally done, and I focus on everything equally. When did you start reading it? I would say I feel like I was reading at a really young age, because my parents they've always been into us like studying and making sure we they were really serious about academics, especially our dad. So I would say I started reading around 5, maybe 4, but I'm just gonna say definitively 5 because I know I was reading at 5. I know I was reading in kindergarten. So yeah, I would say 5. Where do I read? I like to mostly read in my bedroom, in my bed. Sometimes I'll go back like in the backyard, and there's like this little seat that we have back there. And then also in my neighborhood, they have this little like park area, and it's like in front of like a little river or it's not a stream. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a river. And there's like a bench and everything. I like to sit there and read, and it's very like serene and it's just scenic. It just feels like the perfect place to read. 10. What kind of books do you read? My favorite type of books are mysteries and thrillers. I just love to be shocked and I love to be surprised, honestly. I love things that can just make me like, I like books where it just feels like I'm like low-key helping them solve a mystery. I like when I figure out things before the actual characters, because it just makes me feel like really good. The only mystery book I've like done that where I like figured it out was, it's only 2 books. One book when I read when I was like younger, and I reread recently, was We Were Liars. It was like such a confusing book because every single time I would see people review that book, they were like, I was totally shocked, and I was just like, oh, like I was like really confused because I thought like the point of the book was like they made it obvious that like they made like the twist. I don't want to like spoil it for anybody, but they made the twist, in my opinion, kind of obvious. I thought the book was basically just us seeing into her like psyche and seeing like what she was like going through. I just thought the whole book was just it's gonna just kind of like following her trying to figure out what happened. But I kind of had an idea that like something went wrong, and like I guessed it right. And then another book was One of Us is Lying. I figured that out pretty soon in the book. Like I feel like the clues that they gave were like kind of obvious, but that book still shocked me, and the ending was like really shocking. They did still surprise me, and I like that, because at first when I was reading it, I was like, dang, I kind of spoiled it for myself because I figured it out, but the ending still got me because there was one thing that I didn't figure out, and I like that. But yeah, my favorite genre is mysteries, thrillers. When I was younger, I really loved dystopian books. Not so much now. I don't read them that much, but I really want to get back into them. Sometimes I read romance, but I'm not really into romance because I love romantic things. I love romantic shows, romantic movies, rom-coms. But I don't like to get into it too much because I don't know, I just feel like I don't want to get my hopes up for like love and relationships and stuff when I know that I am asexual. And I feel like I'll explain it later, but I'm asexual in a way that's just like, I'll just have to get into it as I make more videos. But yeah, basically, I don't like to read too much romance. I do really, really, really love romance books. Like, I just love the feeling they give you, and I love the hope that they give you. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of dangerous, the hope that it does give you. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean. Okay. Like, if you know what I mean, like, yeah. Like, I just don't. And this is not a question on the website because that was like the last question, but my favorite trope is found family. It's just a trope. Like, even if it's like, if the found family trope is in a book that's not emotional or sad, it'll still make me want to cry. Like, I was recently reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I remember there was a lot of things in that book that were really sad, but one thing that made me really one thing in the books that really made me like very sentimental and emotional was the fact that her friends really did have her back. And even though they were like kind of confused and taken aback by like how she was acting, they literally held her down and they really, really had her like back. Like, they really cared about her. Like, that was like her, like, I don't know if that can be considered found family, but I just like that they were acting like a family, you know? Or like, even in movies like Harry Potter or like Percy Jackson or The Golden Compass, one of my favorite things is just like kids coming together, teenagers or even young adults just coming together and just like being there for each other. Like, one of my favorite Harry Potter movies, The Goblet of Fire, is just like, I just loved how Hermione, even though everybody was like mad at Harry because they thought he put his name in the little chalice. Was it a chalice? I don't know. I think it was a cup, but I could be remembering it wrong. But I just love how she was always there trying to give him advice and trying to stick beside him. There's this one scene that's not emotional at all. I don't think it's meant to be emotional, but it's when she kind of like was trying to give him advice behind the curtain, and then she was trying to kind of stay somewhat indifferent, but then she was just like, you know what, and then she kind of just hugged him, and then she was just like, you know, trying to, you know, tell him to do well. But
the key is to concentrate. After that, you just have to
battle a dragon.
So, also, there was this book series that I was obsessed with called The Darkest Minds, or let me see, that's what it was called, I'm pretty sure. Because I haven't read it in years. The last time I read it was like in high school. The Darkest Minds. Yes, and they had a movie. I watched the movie as well. I read all the books to the end. And that was another book that I was obsessed with. I read all the books until the last one. I think they actually came out with one, but I didn't read it. It was like the aftermath of what happened, because the last book was somewhat of like a resolution, you know, tie the series together. And I know they came out with a book after the whole series, and I read all of them. I would like go to the library and get the books, and then I think the last book they didn't have at the library, so I bought it on the Apple bookstore. And they also have a movie on the book series, but it was like one of my favorite books, and I love the dystopianness of it. I love the found family part of it because it had like everything I loved, and it's just like kids taking care of each other. Basically, the book is basically about like these kids. They it's like futuristic type. No, it's not very futuristic, but it's like this. Okay, so basically, because I don't want to Google it and just like read it off of Google, but basically what I remember is like these kids develop powers out of nowhere. Like, these kids kind of just all develop powers. I don't know if it was all the kids in this world or some kids, but like the powers were ranked by like the powerfulness. So I think it was red, green, blue, and yellow. And no, actually I'm looking here. The color looks like it's orange, but I thought it was red. I don't know. But basically it was them trying to escape them, because all the kids that have powers, they kind of were like, you know, kept captive, and it just kind of follows the journey of these kids trying to escape, and they really do take care of each other, and it's just really a beautiful story. The movie, I remember watching it. I don't think I liked it all that much. I don't remember why. It was a good movie, but it wasn't like, you know, anything that was like, I think the books were definitely way better than the movie. I read the books all the way from the first to the ending. It was perfect. I want to read the book that came out after the series ended. I read a little bit of it, but I can't remember. I just know it followed the youngest kid in the group, the little girl, and I think she's trying to run away from the police or the government or something. And that's the amount I remember it, because that's how much I remember of that, because I didn't read all of the last book, just some of it. What else? Also, I just wanted to talk about what I'm gonna be doing with this channel before I end the video. Basically, I think I not to reiterate, but I know I said a little bit about this before. I want to talk about books. I want to have little, you know, sit down videos where I analyze books and just go into depth about how I felt about the books and get other people's opinions on the books. And I want to have little commentary videos where I talk about different things that I'm not like, it's not gonna be like a whole commentary type videos, just like little videos talking about things that either interest me or just topics I really want to like talk about and get out in my mind, and just see if other people either resonate or agree or disagree, or just other people's thoughts on ideas and opinions that I have. I want to do lifestyle vlogs, traveling vlogs, and just general life vlogs. That's something that I've always really been interested in. And mainly for the vlogs, they're mostly for me. It was something that I used to do as a kid. I would just make little sit down videos. I even have like a very corny and cheesy video that I made in like 9th grade. Or 10th grade. I was like 16. It was like a little horrible back to school video. I still have it on my phone. I don't think I'll ever show anybody that video. It was so embarrassing. I made it with my sister, and I every single time I look back on that video, I smile, because even though it was like so like, it's just really embarrassing, it's just beautiful to look back at, just memories in yourself when you were younger. So I really want to make vlogs just to look back and see how far I've come. And I've always been interested in filming my life. Just for me, honestly. That's just something I've always been really interested in. And also just want to make videos documenting different things that I do, like, trying to learn how to do makeup, or like if learning how to play the guitar, because that's something that's one of my goals for this year, learn how to play the guitar. And different little things that I plan on doing and getting into, different hobbies that I plan on pursuing. So yeah, that's basically it. Let's see. I just want to make sure I went over everything. I'll make sure. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you some of the books that I plan on reading this year. I have more books, but these are the books that I really want to read. I really want to start getting into like classic literature, literary fiction, and more science fiction novels and books. So that's not exactly what we have here, but it's just a little bit. I'm gonna get into the classic literature books that most people know. The Picture of Dorian Gray is basically about a guy that, I'm pretty sure he sells his soul in exchange for beauty and youth and power. And I don't know if necessarily it's power, but like, power does kind of come with those things, especially if you're a man. So I'm just gonna say, yeah, power. So Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray. Jane Austen's Pride and the Prejudice. It's one of those classic romances that everybody loves. I never watched the movie, and I want to watch the movie, but I've always wanted to read the book before I watch the movie. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. And this is Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, or Eyre. I don't know if I ever pronounced her last name right, but it's Jane Eyre. And the reason why I picked this up is because I've heard people talk about this book, and I know she finds out a big secret. And I know, like, not to reiterate, but I said this earlier, I really love books with like either like a twist, a secret that comes out, something that's gonna shock me. And so that's why I picked this up. So the next book I have is 1984 by George Orwell. And I remember in high school reading The Animal Farm by him, and I really liked that book. I don't remember anything about it. I just remember that I really liked it. And I want to reread it. And it was just one of the many books that I liked in school. I remember the reason why I have this book is because it was saved to my TBR for a really long time. And before I had Goodreads, I would save my TBRs to like the iPhone book app. And I was telling my coworker about like how I like to read and some of the books I like to read, and she told me about it. And I was like, I actually have that book saved. And she was like, it's such a good book. And I know it's basically just about what the world would be like if the government was like a dictatorship and a totalitarianism. I do not know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not, but you know what I'm trying to say. Basically, if the world became like that, nobody had a voice, the people didn't have a voice, and I feel like it's not something that we really have to imagine, because I know there are a lot of governments in the world that are like that, sadly. But I still really want to read this book, and I heard that it's a really good book. I'm really excited to read it. The next book I have is The Silent Patient. The reason why I picked this up is because honestly, I don't know why I said honestly 3 times, but
this is where I'm starting to get aggravated.
I saw so many people on social media talking about this at one point, and the little bookmark I have for it is because like I went to the doctor and they gave me this, and I was like about to throw it away, and I was looking at my bookshelf and I'm like, this will be a good bookmark for one of the books I have saved, and just perfect. It's perfect. But it's basically about a woman that kills her husband, and after she kills him, they put her in an asylum, I think, an asylum maybe, or psychiatric care facility. But they put her in one of those places, and she just never talks, and so they send in a therapist to analyze her and to figure out why she's not talking, and, you know, the events that occurred the day or the night that she killed her husband. And I'm really excited to read this. I'm really excited. And this book is basically called Monday's Not Coming. It's basically about a girl whose best friend went missing, and they found her, and it's just kind of following the events of her life and what happened, basically events that lead up to her disappearance and what happened to her. And I'm really excited to read this. Kind of like how all my books have this like red, black and white type theme. I didn't mean to do that, but yeah. Another book that I'm kind of excited to read, I have it up there. It's like this, the second part to One of Us is Lying. It's called One of Us is Next, I'm pretty sure. I have it up there so I can show you guys the book. It's the sequel to One of Us is Lying. It's called One of Us is Next. And I read a little bit of this book in high school. You know, because like, you know, at the end of the last book, they'll literally give you like a little snippet, a little piece of the next book that I saw. And I know they just started getting random texts from this person at school, and it's basically them getting blackmailed, and they have to play like a game of like truth or dare. And if they don't follow the rules of the game, then their secrets get exposed, and so the kids are just trying to figure out who is like manipulating them and, you know, extorting them. And yeah, it's basically them trying to survive. Sorry if the camera seems shaky. I just wanted to add this in last minute. I had it in the stack of books. I don't know, I think it's because it was under everything. It's like a thin book. I just missed it. But this is another book I plan on reading in the coming months. It's basically a book I saw in Barnes & Noble, and I was drawn to the cover. And it's basically about this woman who comes across this lady after her carriage breaks down, and the lady's very enigmatic, and just she's very drawn to her. It's supposed to be this very sapphic, vampire-y type novel, and I'm really excited to read it. This is what it looks like. It's a very beautiful book, in my opinion. And thank you. I just wanted to add that. That's it for today. If you watched this video, please like it. I'm really excited for what's to come. Thank you for everybody that clicked on this video and decided to stay this long. I really, really appreciate it. I'm so excited for my journey. And if you guys have any book recommendations based off the ones that I showed you, or based on, you know, the things that you've read and think that I'll like, let me know. And if you guys want any videos, or have any video ideas, let me know. I also plan on talking about so many different things on this channel. Yeah. I also plan on talking about, you know, my sexuality as well. So if you have any questions about, you know, any questions about that, you know, because I am asexual, and I know there's not like a very big space. I'm on Tumblr, so I feel like there's a big space up there, but I feel like on other social media platforms, I haven't really seen people talk about asexuality all that much. So if you guys want to ask me anything about that, I would love to talk about that, because I literally just sit in my room and talk to myself all the time. So it'll be really good to...
Oh my God, what is that?
Put those ideas out there. It's for other people to give them their opinion, to voice their opinion on, you know? So yeah. Thank you. Bye. It's not too bad. I like it. Bye.